This is Newcap News with Kelsey Bloxham.
Good evening. Bullying is a problem for schools across the country. There's been heightened calls for an anti-bullying strategy, with more and more young people posting their pain and torment online. For some parents in Lashburn, they're fed up with nothing being done to stop bullying at the local high school. A problem they say is being swept under the rug.
It's almost like you got to be part of the cool crowd to be not being bullied, and yeah, that's not right. I don't care for that one bit.
Both of these parents have kids attending Lashburn High School. They've asked for their identities to be kept private over fears their children will be targeted.
My son asked if he could go to school in Lloyd. I know of one other child that is driving to Lloyd every day to go to school because she couldn't handle it in Lashburn.
Another part of it is when they're having school functions, school dances, some of the students were drunk at the school, and what happened? Nothing.
And I've sent numerous emails to the school board. I never once got a reply.
They're also calling out the principal, saying he's not doing enough.
I had a conversation with him about the bullying. I told him I wanted a meeting with the parents of one of the students. And he told me right to my face, I don't want nothing to do with that.
It's not only the dismissal of that meeting that has these parents rattled. The principal, Jay Elder, has been on leave from the school for some time now. It stems from an incident where Elder disciplined one of the students. Charges were laid, but later withdrawn. Elder is expected to return in the new year. In a letter to parents, he expressed his regret, saying the way he handled the incident was not in the best interest of the student involved.
I don't want him back. You know, how can you take that chance with your kids? You know, is he going to do it again?
We're not the only ones. If he is brought back to the school, there will be petition going around.
The Northwest School Division investigated the incident. Although Newcap's request for an interview was declined, the division's Director of Education provided this statement regarding bullying, saying they do their best to address the concerns of everyone and continue to ensure a safe and caring environment. It's a message these parents say is not happening.
Everybody wants to sweep it under the rug. It's time for it to come out in the open.
Cold Lake City Council recently set its second budget since receiving the new revenue flow from the air weapons range. A lot of the projects are on the priority list for the next year, and there's a buzz around the city. But as Clayton Brown explains, although the future looks bright for Cold Lake, Council is moving forward cautiously.
Much has changed over the past 2 years in Cold Lake, and excitement is in the air. The city's newfound optimism will heavily impact Cold Lake's future, a responsibility community leaders aren't taking lightly.
Everybody's here for the greater good, and it's great to see people, like I said, helping out and trying to, vision the city out going forward. And everybody's concerned, and hopefully we can make a difference.
There are some really wonderful things that happen here, but there's also some identified needs that are happening. And as we move into a really healthy economic time, or some people might call it a boom, that along with that comes some folks who are maybe struggling and have some issues in our communities not yet prepared to deal with.
Many community members attended a summit which addressed various core issues facing the city. None bigger than affordable housing.
A bed in Cold Lake goes for about $1,200 a month now. And a house is going over $3,000 a month now to rent a house. So in the think tank that I was involved, just ideas on how to try to free up or how to try to get more building in Cold Lake.
The summit is more than just brainstorming and discussing. It's making the public accountable for what's to come in the future.
What we really want to see is that this doesn't result in a report. What it results in is action. And when the people that have picked groups that are important to them are going to move these action steps forward.
Council will also be looking at all the information gathered from the summit. In Cold Lake, Clayton Brown, Newcap News.
It's a scary stat. Every 7 minutes, heart disease or stroke claims a life in Canada. And it's that number that spurred a local school to take action. Students and teachers at Winston Churchill Elementary School received an award for their fundraising efforts for the Heart and Stroke Foundation. And this story proves sometimes the biggest things come from the most unlikely places. Elise Cox has more.
The gym was rumbling with excitement as these students were about to receive news on how much their hard work paid off from last year's Jump Rope for Heart fundraiser. Students, teachers, and parents gathered in the gym for the biggest assembly they've ever had.
We talk about goal setting every year. Personally, the teachers set goals, the students set goals, and as a school we set a goal of $10,000 and we went well and above that.
Our school raised, ready for this? $15,291.
Over $15,000 straight to the Heart and Stroke Foundation. The school has been donating to the foundation for the past 16 years, but last year's total was big enough to reach attention at the provincial level. They were awarded second highest fundraising school in the province of Saskatchewan.
It feels really good to just have the feeling that all our school cares about it and that we raised that much money for it.
And the impact the fundraiser has on students is immense. Students not only learn about the Heart and Stroke Foundation.
I learned about heart stroke and we fundraise to help people.
How many people and how common it is. And how many people have been affected by it.
But also learn about the importance of taking care of their bodies to prevent heart disease.
As a culminating activity to the fundraising, we have a day dedicated to the Jump Rope Day.
This day promotes fitness and raises awareness for heart health.
I think it's just a good service learning project for the students to get involved in, to raise awareness and raise the funds and be physically active and promote that ideal for themselves. So.
Since its inception 16 years ago, Winston Churchill Elementary raised more than $212,000, and they say they'll be back at it again next year. Elise Cox, Newcap News.